Hello, Rob. I'm Monty from Washington, D.C. And I have a question. I work with some of the new students. And in the Learning Center, there's a time when you transition from beginning to intermediate level.
אני עובד עם תלמידים חדשים, ויש איזשהו שלב שבו עוברים מהשלב של המתחילים לשלב הביניים.
One of the things that we focus on, that we address towards the students, is the role and the importance of dissemination.
אחד הדברים שאנחנו מדברים עליהם עם אותם התלמידים בשלב הביניים זה חשיבות לקחת תפקיד בהפצה.
Initially, something within us resists this.
כמובן שיש משהו בתוכנו שמתנגד לזה.
Could you tell us what's the relationship between our dissemination to the world and our spiritual attainment?
האם אתה יכול להגיד לנו מה הקשר בין ההפצה שאנחנו עושים לבין ההשגה הרוחנית שלנו?
Only through dissemination we can attain spiritual attainment. We learn that we are structured in such a way that we have a part called Galgalta Enaim and Achap. The Achap is called the vessels through which I bestow others. Galgalta Enaim, here I have only the restriction. Here I have only the Tzimtzum, the restriction, and the light of Chasadim. And that only, it's not attainment. It is only the correction of the vessel, the tikkun. Tikkun of the kli, the correction of the kli. And that only. But if I want to attain the light of Chokhmah, I have to use my achap. I have to activate the achap and bestow to others. Otherwise I can't activate it. I have to receive from the others man. And then I can bestow upon them. And then the light of Chokhmah flows through me to them and onwards, continues onwards. That's why I said today in the lesson, in the first lesson, a student that I've learned a lot from my teachers, more so from my friends, and even more so from my students. Because the students, they bring me a desire, a deficiency. And when they bring me this desire, then I raise it to Ein Sof, upwards. And from there I attract through me the light of Chokhmah which they request. And by that I have attainment. A person never attains spiritual attainment in his own vessels, but only in what he connects to others with. Because my achap can be activated by me. Only on the condition that this achap has the galgalta enaim of the other, and that is also in contact with the other, with the third, and so on. None of us is not free. Look, this is how all the partzufim are until Ein Sof. Let's say this partzuf. it has, this is the Parzuf, the soul, my soul. Part of it, this part, is in the lower one. It's in the control of the lower one. And the other part, it's at the other part of my soul, is in such a state that in it is the upper one. So it turns out that in my upper part, I belong to the upper one, and in my lower part, I belong to the lower one. And where am I? There is no I. I can't live for myself. My life, and that we will attain in the global world very soon. My life is tied either to the upper one or to the lower one. To both of them, but not to myself. And if I entirely devote myself in my upper part to the upper one, then together with it, in my Galgalta Einaim, and in its Achap, which is in me, I attain 10 complete Sfirot. And below, when I'm in my Achap, and in his, the lower ones, Galgalta Einaim, I also attain 10 complete Sfirot. And this gives me life. And I never have my own kli, my own vessel, but only in contact with the upper one and the lower one. I never have 10 of my own complete Sfirot. Or to put it more precisely, I don't have any personal Sfira of my own. Part of me is entirely in contact in part of the upper one, and my lower part is entirely in contact with the lower one. My decision is only here in between, in the middle, to devote myself, to divide myself to two such parts. And that is what we're going to discover now in the global crisis. That there is no other connection in all human beings between their bodies, between nations, between countries, between all parts of nature, but only in a way, only in such a way, as described, as illustrated, like cells in a single body. If we ourselves want to implement, to realize this condition, then we'll reach the good existence. And if not, it will be done by suffering. But that is the spiritual law of the connection between the Parzufim. We learn about this in the study of the 10 Sfirot and everywhere.